Hi, my name is Sandy Leonard. I'm a CPA and a Certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. If you're thinking about or in the process of obtaining a nurse registry license from AHCA and want to learn about the proof of financial ability to operate, then this video is right for you. In this video, we will explain the financial forms that are required by AHCA and which are called the proof of financial ability to operate. In a nutshell, the license process usually requires the preparation of an extensive application, payment of fees, proof of insurance, background checks, and the preparation of a financial ability to operate, and more. The AHCA website has different rules for each type of healthcare provider. For instance, there are specific forms for a Florida nurse registry, and therefore you should go to that website. This is just a very brief summary, and you should review the AHCA website for the application process and the required forms. What is the proof of financial ability to operate? The form is not a simple form. It's rather a complex form, and it's designed so that the applicant demonstrates to AHCA, among other things, that you, as the applicant, have a well thought out financial plan to deliver nurse registry services, and that you are knowledgeable in your line of business, and that the projected amounts in the proof of financial ability to operate are achievable. The proof of financial ability to operate is effectively a formalized financial screening process to filter out the non-serious applicant from those that may not have the know-how or have the financial ability or the financial resources to provide nursing services to Florida residents. Well, there are 6 basic financial statements in the proof of financial ability to operate, and the nomenclature is slightly different, but these are the terms which you may or may not be familiar with. First, we have the profit and loss. There's specialized metrics that AHCA requires. There's a balance sheet, cash flows. There's financial footnotes, which I'll get into shortly. There's the contingency working capital calculations and access to contingency funding. The proof of financial ability to operate for a nurse registry is not as complex as the regular proof of financial ability to operate, which is required for all other healthcare providers. The major differences between the proof of financial ability to operate as it relates to a nurse registry as compared to an applicant who is not a nurse registry is basically one, there's only 1 year of projected information is required rather than 2. A report letter from a CPA is not required for a nurse registry, and there's no requirement for the applicant to have at least 3 times the contingency funding, as you will see in Schedule 1. Well, what you see here is the instructions. And first of all, let me just apologize for any difficulty that you might see here. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. If you have difficulty, just pull up the form and you'll be able to see the instructions. But I've highlighted a few areas here. The first deals with the assumptions, and the assumptions are basically, what did you put, how did you base your projections? What did you assume will or will not occur? And they're key to AHCA's understanding of your projections. And these assumptions are written up and put into notes, which must be attached to the projection so that AHCA will understand it. Then there's Schedule 1 here. This schedule computes and shows to AHCA the amount of pre-opening costs, contingency, and working capital requirements that you will need until you reach levels of positive cash flow. Also, Schedule 1 of the Proof of Financial Ability to Operate requires the applicant, that's you, to provide independent evidence of sufficient funds for startup, working capital, and contingencies. First, for an introduction to the Proof of Financial Ability to Operate, I have a great video, which is an introductory video to this form. You might want to take a look at it. Secondly, I have another video which deals with a very common question that people always ask, and that is, how much do I need to be approved by AHCA? Well, I'm going to give you the answer now, but I suggest you see the video. There's no magic number. This number is calculated right in Schedule 1. All these other instructions are very important, and you need to read it and understand it while you complete the application. What is your next step here? The next decision you need to make is whether you want to self-prepare the Proof of Financial Ability to Operate, use a bookkeeper or accountant, or use a CPA. That decision is entirely up to you. If you're good at spreadsheets, you understand AHCA's instructions, and are confident that completion of this form is relatively easy, then go ahead and self-prepare the form. However, most applicants feel the form is too complex for them. I think of the analogy, it's similar to when I buy furniture at IKEA. Constructing the IKEA furniture is just way too complicated to me. I usually have an expert build that furniture. One other comment about this form, it may seem very easy, a few spreadsheets, but it really is a very complex form to complete, even if it's 1 year, and you need to have someone who's familiar with it to prepare it. If you feel the same way that I feel about complex forms, then another suggestion is to use a bookkeeper or a non-CPA accountant. But a word of caution, make sure they have the experience in preparing a Proof of Financial Ability to Operate, and they know how to prepare and articulate in writing those assumptions that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. AHCA clearly states the assumptions that the applicant makes are essential in developing a projected set of financials schedules that should be consistent with your plan. And all assumptions used in projections should be contained in the accompanying notes to the projections. That's right in the financials. And finally, you may want to use a CPA who also must have knowledge of the Proof of Financial Ability to Operate. And that choice is yours. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to contact me if you need any help with preparing the Proof of Financial Ability to Operate for your nurse registry. Finally, if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like buttons before you go. Have a great day.